Hello, Cruising World. Mick the Suit Guy with you. It's Monday. Monday is Tips Day. And I have some tips from my good friend Mel from Canada. We got enough for 2 weeks worth, it looks here. And I got some of my own if we need some extra time. What do you think about my new suit, huh? What do you think? It's like sexy. Look at that. Isn't it? Love it. And I didn't put the shoes on for this, but yeah, shoes too. Looking forward to wearing that one. And Julie got a really good matching dress. Hasn't arrived yet. We should wear that on the Icon of the Seas in August when we go, and we will watch people's reactions to that. First time on Royal, we will find out. Speaking of which, before I forget, now I kind of opened up my Facebook page, and I'll put a link to it in the comments here. But we're trying to make this more about all cruise lines, because I feel like we've done so many tips on specifically Carnival cruises over time. We're running out. I want to keep this thing going. But literally, these are the only tips I have for like a couple more weeks. And then we are in danger of ending the show. The show could get cancelled unless you help me out. So send me yours. Doesn't have to be Carnival. Send me your tips. I don't want reasons why Cruise Line A is better than Cruise Line B. That's not what this is about. Tips. What is a good tip for a cruise on Celebrity, on Virgin, on Royal, on Norwegian, stuff like that. So help people out. We're tipping all over the cruise world. Send me yours. Info coming up at the end. But anyway, back to Mel. So I've got, looks like 5 things here. As always, I have not read them. We're going to read them and react live. So we're going to give you at least 3 this week. And we'll see what happens. We'll see how Canada fares today. In my new suit debut. I really do like this one. I really do. Anyways, all right. Number 1. Don't do the Behind the Fun tour if your ship is going into dry dock right after your cruise. They may start work during the cruise and certain areas will be off limits. This happened to me on the Legend. Paid full price but didn't get the full tour. Kind of felt the second line was coming when you started that first one, Mel. We did the Behind the Fun tour on the Magic pre-COVID. This is when they stopped selling Stella in bottles. I remember it well. You do get to see a lot on the Behind the Fun tour, but I think once you've done it once, you won't need to do it on any other ship. But I do recommend doing it once. But a very valid point that Mel makes, that if you're going into dry dock, they'll be getting ready for it. So there'll be a lot of things closed off. I did feel a little bit of bitterness in your words there, Mel. A little bit of tension, maybe. I don't know. Yeah. I remember the tension I found was when we did this, and I've told this story before. We were doing a back-to-back, and I liked my Stella then. That was what I was. We did a back-to-back-to-back. Where's my bottle? I got my bottle somewhere. Is it here? We did a back-to-back-to-back. I usually have it up here somewhere. Where did I put it? I don't know where it is. But we did a back-to-back. Oh, I see it. Hold on. Hang on. It's part of the story. So we did a back-to-back-to-back on the Breeze. And believe it or not, I maxed out my Cheers package on Stella every day. So it was a bit of a stretch at the end, but we did it. So this was my 300th bottle of Stella that we had. And I'll do a close-up for you. Hopefully you can see it. But right there, I wrote 300. And I had the bartender, Eddie, who gave it to me, sign it for me. So yeah, that's my 300th bottle of Stella. Kept it ever since. Anyways, the story. So week 1 is on the Magic. We've gone forward a year or so now, so I'll move that out of the way. Week 1 of the back-to-back, Stella, you know, as you do on a cruise. And then week 2, they suddenly announced that the Stella contract had expired and they were no longer selling Stella on board. But they had a few, and when they'd run out, they would go. So anyway, we're in the lobby bar, and they said they would keep some back for me because they remembered me from the week before. So it was like day 2 of the second leg of the back-to-back. And I'm having the Stella at the lobby bar, and all of a sudden, somebody comes down with a big dolly and takes all the Stellas away. I'm like, what's going on? And they go, sorry, no more Stella. They got to get rid of it. I'm like, whatever. It is what it is. So anyway, fast forward a couple of days, and we're doing the behind the scenes tour. Now, part of the behind the scenes tour, you go down to, you see a lot of good stuff, like how they do the laundry. You get to the bridge. You see the captain. You got a lot of behind the scenes stuff. You get to see the crew areas and stuff like that. Anyways, we were going down between it, and as we were walking from one area to another, I noticed this pallet with boxes on it. Like, what's that? And there must have been 50 to 60, if not more, cases of Stella on the pallet. I'm like, what's going on here? So I asked, and they said, crew bar. Apparently it was the most popular beer in the crew bar, so they kept all the reserves for the crew. How could I argue with that? Plus, they're only paying $1 a beer down there at that time. I think they pay like $1.50 or $2 now, but then it was only $1 a beer. So, no more sadness. I was happy the crew got to use the Stella, what was left of it. Anyways, that's my Stella story. And yeah, that is true. 300. Oh, couldn't do that today. Oh, what was this? Thank you, Kamar. Thank you. Oh, Tammy. Tammy signed it. Bobo. Ah, these are all my bartenders in the breeze from the piano bar. Bobo and Tammy. Tammy drinks the Lucky Buddha sometimes now. Forgot they signed it. Ah, the memories. Anyways, yeah, so a lot of long-winded stuff there on one little tip, which was basically a sour grapes tip from Mel. But a good tip, Mel. I advise that. You know, it makes sense. All right, we'll move on to number 2. Hope I have any hidden stories about number 2. Get outside your comfort zone. Do things you might not normally do. Things like karaoke, participate in events at the Welcome Aboard show, volunteer for the horse racing on the Throwback Sea Day on a Journeys cruise. I've twice been in the 50s show and may try for a 3rd time on my next cruise. Most of all, have fun. Couldn't agree more. Go out your comfort zone. Do things you'd never normally do. I've never done that. I'm probably the most out of my comfort. You could say I've gone out of my comfort zone so much on cruises that is now my comfort zone. It's not much I haven't tried. And, don't know. Don't regret it. Don't leave any regrets. You're only on this planet one time. Live it. And trust me, I'm not very good at karaoke. I've seen many, many people that are worse than me. Obviously, I've seen loads that are better. But I've seen many, many, many people that are worse than me at karaoke. So they're great. God bless them for getting up and having a go. That's all I'm going to say. You could honestly say that people are never going to see you again. Here's the thing. My belief. I'm not saying I disagree with that statement, because a lot of people will never see you again. A lot of people avoid you. A lot of people avoid me on a cruise ship. Trust me, I know what's going on. I'm a polarizing person on a cruise ship. People will either want to hang out with me or go out their way to talk to me, or they will avoid me like the plague. And I'm fine with that, because that way I weed out the people I wouldn't want to talk to without even trying, because they weed themselves out. Anyway, and I've completely forgot what I was saying. Let me backtrack. This is the problem with recording these things live. It'll probably come back to me. Nah, gone. I start these things off and I start saying, oh, polarizing, go back from polarizing. Yeah, you come. Oh, yeah, I think I got it now. So you say these people will never see you again. Ah, yeah, I do have it now. But I'm a firm believer in that if you travel a lot, you're going to bump into people again. You know, we were just on the celebrity solstice from Hong Kong to Singapore, and I met people on there from my hometown in England. Oh my God, you're from my hometown in England. It wasn't really a shock to me because they travel. And you meet hundreds of people, and out of those hundreds of people, some are going to have a connection to your previous life, not previous life, your previous places you've lived, or, you know, something in connection with the way you were brought up. It's going to happen. So you meet hundreds of people and you meet a couple that have a connection to you in one way or another. Is it really a surprise? I would say no. But yeah, I love the horse racing, by the way. I really enjoy the horse racing. They used to do the horse racing where they make it's a lot less now than it used to be. Back in the day, horse racing was a big, big deal. So on very early in the Journeys cruise, let me backtrack now. With the horse racing, what they do is on a Journeys cruise, which is 10 days or longer, unless you're in Australia, most of their 10 days are not Journeys. Another story for another day. But so on the Journeys cruises here, 10 days or longer, they'll have what they call a throwback sea day. They'll probably have a knobbly knees contest. I wish they throw back to the hairy chest contest. That's another story again. But with the horse racing, what they'll do is they'll have 4 horses. They'll have a track and some dice. And they'll throw 2 or 3 dice, depending on the ship. And then whatever number comes up, that horse will move. Right? So you've got 6 horses. They roll the dice. If 6 and 1 comes up, horse number 6, horse number 1 move up 1 on a track. And before the race, you placed your bets, normally $2 bets. So always take cash on which horse is going to win. So basically, you'll do that. Now, what they used to do, and they do one race and one race only. What they used to do was, at the beginning of the cruise, they would auction off the horses, 1 through 6, and you could buy a horse, a couple of $100. They, like a genuine auction, and then you had to look after that horse for the week. You're supposed to take it everywhere you went, around the ship and stuff like that. You name the horse, you could decorate the horse, whatever you wanted to do. And then when they did the proper horse race at the end of the week, there would be 3 races. And the third race would be your big race, right? And the winner of that race would win the money that was bid on at the auction. So if all the horses went for $200, there's $1,200 up at stake. So that's kind of a big deal. And one year we won it. What can I say? Cookie was the cruise director. I did gloat a little bit afterwards. And if you know Cookie, you'd know that he wasn't too happy with that. I felt pretty poor about it afterwards. But I was excited, whatever. What are you going to do? But not only that, but with the 3 races they did, they would take all the bets and they would pay out lesser amounts for the first 2 races. And then the last race, they would pay out a bigger chunk. So they used to make a much bigger deal out of the horse racing than they do today. So, I don't know. So you would, between each race, you would place new bets. But on the first race, instead of paying out 80% of the money they collected, they'd pay out 50%. Second race, 50%. And the third race be at 170% or something. So obviously Carnival will take the cut. But it was, I don't know, I enjoyed that a lot more. Much more fun. Now it seems to be over before it starts. Like everything, they're cutting back. Anyway, this is supposed to be Mel's tips, not mine. Number 3, last one this week. Number 3, if you'd like to have paper copies of your bookings, reservations, etc., organize them in a folder in the order you will need them. Flight, hotel, cruise board pass, etc. It makes it really easy to find what you need quickly. Highlight important points on each, such as booking number and hotel phone number. You're like me, Mel. Pretty type A, aren't you? I'm a type A person. I do the same thing. I don't go to the extent of highlighting things, but I will always, often have a side thing on my phone, on my notepad, of all the information I need for a cruise. Something I would add on to that, which is actually a really good idea that somebody gave me. So I'll add an extra little tip from myself. And I think I've probably told you this before. And this wasn't my tip. I got it from somebody else. But now we do it every time. When you leave, if you leave a note, say somebody's coming to watch your cats like we have, or checking on the house every now and then, or you've got animals that watch, whatever. So we always leave a note with the address of our vet in case of an emergency. We leave a credit card on there in case of an emergency, and stuff like that. But what we learned to do, which is a really good idea, is we left emergency contact. So there's a specific number that you can call Carnival, and you can put that number down. I need to look that up and remind myself what it is. But there's an emergency number you can call. So we leave that on a piece of paper with the ship we're on, the sailing date, and our cabin number. So if anybody needs to get a hold of us urgently, they know exactly how to get a hold of us. And that's whatever cruise line you're on, they'll have that emergency number. So I would recommend leaving that note in your house when you leave, or with somebody that's watching the house, emergency contact information, but find out the emergency number to call. And it would obviously differ for different cruise lines. But really important, ship, sale date and your cabin number, and then people can find you very easily. Extra tip from moi. Well, not from me, from somebody else, but. All right, Mel. So we got two more for next week, and then I've got a couple of my own we're going to add in, and then I think I've got enough for one more week's worth because I've been making some little notes, but I've done so many tips, I'm running out. I might even be repeating the ones I'm doing now. We could have done these already. I don't know. 100 and whatever number of these episodes, I can't remember them all. When I very first began, I started keeping a spreadsheet so I didn't duplicate. That went out the window very quickly. All right, so we'll do more emails next week. And as a tribute, and plus the fact I love this suit, and, well, maybe more so, I'm just too lazy to change, I am going to walk over to my camera, hit pause, hit record again, and go straight into the following weeks. You be the judge of why I'm keeping on wearing the suit. All right, with that, sign up, subscribe. That's all I need to say, really, isn't it? If you want to see more of this, send me yours. Like I said at the beginning, I'm running very, very low on ideas. Send me yours, not just Carnival, any cruise line related. Also, if you have any questions, my email is coming up at the end of this video. I can help you. If I don't know the answer, I know people that do. Probably. Usually. Can't guarantee it, but pretty much can guarantee it. But you never 100%. But I should be able to find out. So don't be scared to ask. With that, I love this suit. I will see you later, Cruising World. Any questions? Email me anytime. cruisingsuitguy@gmail.com. I promise I'll reply as soon as possible. Want to book a cruise or any type of travel? We are travel agents. Check out our site, elitetravelconnection.com, or email me, mick@elitetravelconnection.com. We are here for you. Finally, subscribe, please. Pretty please. You know you want to. Go on. I won't beg you. Okay, I'm begging. Please. Subscribe. Thank you.